I will now call to order the special meeting of the Board of Trustees of Texas Southmost College District. Trustees present are Dr. Roberto Robles, Ms. Adela Garza, Mr. Rene Torres, Mr. David Oliveira, Mr. Trey Mendez. Absent is Dr. Roberto Lozano and Dr. Juliet V. Garcia. Item number 1, executive session. The board will convene to executive session as provided by Government Code, Chapter 551.071.
He was on there for a few minutes, but then he said that he couldn't be on there any longer.
We reconvene from executive session. We have item number 2, consideration and possible action matters discussed in executive session. Item number 1, consultation with District Council regarding the issuance of counter-proposal University of Texas system for integration of the University of Texas Brownsville and Texas Southmost College, including provisions for assumption of by the State of Texas or the University of Texas system of the Texas Southmost College bond debt.
Mr. Chairman, I move at this time to issue a counter-proposal to the University of Texas system for the integration of UTB Brownsville and TSC. The proposal will also include assumption by the State of Texas or the University of Texas system the entire Texas Southmost College bond debt. Dr. Robles?
I have a motion from David Oliveira. Do I have a second?
Second.
I have a second from Dr. Robles. Any discussion?
Yes, I think what I heard for those 4 that voted for separation last time, that one of their biggest concern, or the biggest concern, was that what to do with this bond debt. They didn't believe it was fair for the citizens of this community to be saddled with that bond debt as well. And my feeling is that, you know, even if we could always, the offer on the table is that we could keep our buildings and lease them, and as long as they were used by our students and students in this community, that would be fine. But apparently that wasn't good enough, and so I have begun discussions with members of the University of Texas system about assuming the entire bond debt, and there seems to be a willingness on their part. I know our legislators are going to meet this week with Chancellor Figueroa and others, and to discuss that very issue. And under that proposal, then, our entire bond debt would be eliminated. That means that no citizen in this community would pay a tax to Texas Southmost College. Open admissions would be preserved. And also there would be an effort, I think there would be a promise included to lower all the vocational taxes, to lower all vocational tuition, occupational programs, and an effort made also to lower tuition for those students who wanted the junior college rate and were not able to get, I guess, grants and other stuff to help cover that. So that's my proposal. I think it's a win-win for this community. I don't know how anybody could be against that.
Thank
Mr. Torres?
As far as I know, the UT system has not brought to the table any new proposal. The only thing that I have to say is that when the UT system comes with a check of $198 million to pay for our assets, take over our debt, pay the $17 million they owe us in back rentals, then I think we can have a deal. Anything less than that, I cannot support.
Well, and my response to that is, under the partnership agreement we've signed, and I've shown it to everybody in this room, the obligation is on the State of Texas and not UT Systems. We try to get UT Systems to pay it. We knew that they had no contractual obligation. So let's just make that clear right now. If we're talking about enforcing a contract, The only one we can enforce that against is the state of Texas, and so.
Let me-
But regardless, if they take away all our bond debt, I mean, that's gonna be saving us, I don't know how many million a year. What do we collect a year?
That's right.
17 million a year?
17 million, and,
But what David hasn't told you is that it's going to take 23 years before, you know, they dissolve the taxing district. And meanwhile, the local taxpayer is going to have to pay and subsidize the richest system in the country for 23 more years. So if they came today and says they're gonna solve the taxing district today, you know, I would resign from this board today if they would do that. But they're not doing that. They haven't proposed to do that.
Well, that's what our counter proposal
And let me,
is.
I'm not finished, on the rental issue. David Oliveira continues to say that the UT system doesn't owe us this money. Well, under the partnership agreement, UT Brownsville has an agreement with TSC to pay for rental and leases. The UT system is under the University of Texas system. So as far as I'm concerned, and according to his cousin, René Oliveira, the UT system is the one that owes us the $17 million. We have a partnership agreement that says that UTB is responsible for paying rent and lease to Texas Southmost College. They are under the umbrella of the UT system. So who owes us the money but the UT system?
Well, and I have to speak on behalf of my cousin. We discussed this issue a number of times. I know at one time he had hoped and believed that the UT system owed it. And since that time, after looking at the partnership agreement, there's, I think, unanimity that it's not contractually owed. And I'd ask Dan Renfro at this time. Dan, you've looked at this issue a number of times, and what's your understanding of that provision in the partnership agreement?
Well, I have looked at this, and we argued back and forth, and I can't tell you how much I wish Mr. Torres were right, that the UT system owed the money, but the lease does say that it is subject to funding. There's no question that the lease was underfunded, but the lease also says it does not create a debt. And so in the legal sense, there is no debt. Were we underpaid? There's no question about that. Should we have been paid more by the state? Yes. But is it the kind of debt that you could sue and get a judgment? In my opinion, no.
Dan, while you're up there, what about the arbitration? Weren't we asked to go to arbitration by March 2010?
That has not taken place.
No, but can you tell us a little bit more about that?
Well, the bill that was passed said that the parties would arbitrate it. The parties have attempted to resolve it, and that would have been resolved through the partnership agreement that was before the board last fall and rejected. So that arbitration has not taken place,
And the parties that were asked to go to that arbitration were who?
they weren't actually asked. There was a statute that was passed that
Okay,
said
what did-
Texas Southmost College and UT system.
Texas Southmost College and UT system. There was a statute passed that Texas Southmost College and UT system were supposed to arbitrate
Right.
that debt, right? And that never took place, though.
We
That did
opted
not
as a
take place.
board to negotiate with them instead of going to arbitration because we know legally we had no leg to stand on.
Well, see, guys, the problem I've had with that has been that, you know, we've had some members on this board publicly say several times, and now our council's even saying several times that UT doesn't owe the money, but the state passed, you know, there's a statute saying that we're supposed to go to arbitration on that money. And you, all the lawyers in the room know that if you're negotiating against yourself, you're never gonna convince the other side that they actually owe the money. So nobody's helping the issue by telling everybody that they don't owe the money, when the state actually passed a statute asking us to go to arbitration with UT system.
The state didn't say that UT owed the money. They said go to arbitration. If you want to go to arbitration when you've got nothing in your hand and you've got no chance of winning, I mean, I just thought it was foolish. I thought the better, the board agreed because we discussed this, and it was prior to you getting on, was that the better strategy was to try and negotiate something with them, and we tried. And
How much
it
money
didn't
is owed?
happen. I'm sorry, what's that?
How much money is owed?
Well, they didn't mention 17, they mentioned what,
It was
10 or
10,
11?
it was closer to 10, 11 is what LBB certified. Also, I don't understand this, the proposal that I have on the table, UT would take over the bond debt, so whether the taxing district, there's not going to be any taxes collected, is the way I understand it, and that's the proposal I'm making, is it's not that we would continue to pay taxes, Mr. Torres, and so my proposal would be exactly what you're saying, is for them to take over the entire bond debt. And that means that these citizens of this community, so it's clear, wouldn't be paying any more taxes to Texas Southmost College. Open admissions would continue, lower rates for vocational students, and certainly discussions to try and lower rates for all the people attending the
Now,
junior college.
David, in your proposal, who's going to owe that money? The UT system or the state of Texas? Because
I don't care who pays it. If they agree to do it, and
Like the
whoever
rent,
does it,
yeah.
and it's in writing, I don't care if it's a
like our
guarantee.
rental contract was in writing.
it's a
I mean,
guarantee.
I think we're dreaming here.
I mean,
We
the
can't get
problem-
them to pay a bill of $11 million of past rent that has accumulated over years, and now you're saying that they're going to come
Why
up
would
with an
you
extra
deny
$20 million a year.
Why would you deny the members of this community the right to get rid of a tax? I mean,
We're not
everybody's tired
denying
of
them the
paying
right.
taxes,
We're not
Mr.
denying them,
Rendon.
but we're being
are.
realistic.
If you do not send this proposal over,
There's no state money available. You're just trying to sidetrack the direction that our transition team is going, and the vote that this board took.
You
Everywhere we
continue
go,
with
you
your
put a
transition.
roadblock instead of getting on board. We need to get the transition team together and move in the direction that this board voted. You're telling us that the state now will come up with an extra $20 million a year for UTB TSC when they can't even pay for $10 million that's accumulated over, 19 years? And now they're going to come up with an extra $20 million a year in this budget? Who can really believe that? I mean, this is just a roadblock. You're just,
Mr. Chairman,
you
you
had-
can continue doing the transition work, send this proposal over, give the citizens of this community an opportunity not to have to pay another tax and to get rid of a tax, Mr. Chairman.
the TSC,
That's all I'm asking. Give them a chance.
you must, junior college, thank you. Junior college tax districts are a necessary evil for all communities who want to be able to offer junior college classes at affordable rates. Look at all the other models of all the other cities of our size or larger, and that is the model that they have. It's a necessary evil. Now, they're moving in the direction of junior colleges are becoming the shining star in this economy because they offer an education at a lower cost, and that's the direction that we're moving in, to give our community that opportunity too. Now, you had 18 months, 20 months, or whatever you talked about earlier about how long you took to negotiate. Why didn't you discuss these issues back then? Why weren't you looking for these things back then? Because they weren't realistic. But now all of a sudden, this is a fifth hour and everybody's coming up with these great ideas, and you want us to do a counter proposal to our own proposal? Who outbids themselves? The counter proposal, if they wanted to, would be coming from the other side, from the UT system. They put an offer on the table, they put two options, they told us choose whichever one you want. We don't have a preference either way, either one would work. We chose one, and we started moving in that direction. So we accepted their offer, and now you want us to do a counter offer on our own acceptance? The counter offer should be coming from them. So
May I
if you
respond, please?
believe that there should be a counter offer, go lobby them, and maybe they'll send us one, but we shouldn't
Let me
counter our
respond.
own offer.
Let me respond, Mr.
No,
Rendon,
let me
that
respond.
I had my hand up, I've been quieted already several times, but back in November, if you all recall, and this is a public record, and you can look at the webcast, we voted unanimously to send a counter proposal that included the three items. One was taking over the bond debt. Another one was lowering tuition and fees for college students, and I forget the third one. However, Mr. Rendon, the chairman, did not send that letter to the regents. Okay, he kept it, and that's on a webcast. So you began this destruction of these institutions back then. It was you personally that took this upon yourself.
No, sir. It was very simple. Thank you. It was very simple, Dr. Robles. We were supposed to.
I have the floor, sir. I have the floor.
Go
now,
ahead, then.
Secondly, the Brownsville Herald, if you write Sunday articles for the Brownsville Herald Sports section, perhaps you'll be given as much time and space to have written this long and lengthy letter that Mr. Torres did. And in there, I can pick and choose from multiple areas that he is misrepresenting the facts. And let me just point out one fact, okay? One fact. Let's talk about money, okay? Let's talk about money. You said that the University of Texas is one of the wealthiest institutions in the United States, second to Harvard, wealthy institution, and how dare
they come over to our institution and try to strap us with a bond debt.
I'm sorry, I didn't use dare.
Well, now, so what I say in response to that is, how dare you try to collect taxes from one of the poorest counties in the entire United States and continue to think that you're going to lower tuition and lower rates and pay all this and collect taxes from the poorest county in the United States. That is wrong. That is wrong. I'm for the little guy. I'm for the student.
Yeah, right.
All right? So this is shameful that this is being done, that you're going to continue to collect tax from the poorest county when somebody's willing to shoulder that cost.
Should we call for the vote?
No, I have.
I have something to say.
No,
We're
I
going
still
to-
have the floor. I wanted to read something I wrote. And Mr. Rendon, in response to the quote you got from, that you gave Ms. Jacqueline Armendariz from the Brownsville Herald, that this is just Dr. Robles pushing his agenda. I actually believe it to be more of the people's agenda. I requested this meeting out of respect for the overwhelming public support for unification. I ask that you that are in the audience and others that have not seen this webcast to look at it from February 17th, the TSC board meeting, where a historic number of people attended and with the majority of speakers pleading for unification. To amplify this point of view even further, the following groups approved resolutions in favor of unification: the University of Texas Brownsville, Texas Southmost College Student Government voted for unification. The Academic Senate voted for unification. The Development Board voted for unification. Furthermore, the following city councils voted unanimously in favor of unification: South Padre Island, Port Isabel, Laguna Vista, Los Fresnos, and Rancho Viejo. The speakers at the meeting included members of the Diocese of Brownsville who were representing their parishes and Valley Interfaith. There was also a homeless student and numerous other community members, all pleading for unification. Prior to the meeting, a full page ad was in the Herald was placed by the physicians that are on staff at Valley Regional Medical Center and Valley Baptist Medical Center, and the Democratic the Democrats of the area of the county, Cameron County, also sent a letter in favor of unification. So this is not Dr. Robles' agenda. This is the people's agenda. And you're doing something for the students when the students already told you that they want unification. You're not doing what they're telling you to do. You're doing what you want to do.
Mr. Torres? Mr. Torres? Thank you. Quiet, please. Quiet, please.
I'm not gonna go down to Dr. Robles' level and attack him because I have plenty to attack him with. What I've been disappointed is that in the past 6 or 7 months, David Oliveira and Dr. Robles has been attacking my family. He's been slandering me and some of his board members. And, you know, that's a part that it's more disappointing. I think I've been pretty upfront is what I think.
Silence, please.
And I'm not going to attack Dr. Robles. I think Dr. Robles and David can be positive contributors to this effort. The UT system has already established a schedule for transition. They have written several letters embracing the two autonomous institutions. They have corresponded with the accreditation agencies in Atlanta. That has given us positive feedback. And the efforts are to move forward and create into autonomous institutions. Again, I repeat what I said at the beginning, that I'm very hurt. Dr. Robles has attacked me and my family out in the community. I don't deserve that. I'm here as a board member, as a volunteer like he is, and I would join him and everybody else on this board to continue forward with this. I think there's a motion and a second. I think we are ready to vote.
I think Ms. Garza wanted to speak. Ms. Garza wanted to speak.
So when the president of TSC told everybody this was a great idea, it was good for students, and we took her lead. So was she wrong when she told us that? Because she did say back in November it would be a wonderful idea, it would be good for students, it would be like a butterfly coming out of a cocoon. So why are we fighting that? Why can't we all join and have two great institutions? I think that she was right when she said that. I respect her. I think she had a great idea, and I think we all should work towards that. And Mr. Chair, I'm ready to take a vote.
And let me just say, because let's put this to rest. Juliet Garcia has always been for the partnership, keeping the partnership together. As a last resort, she was forced to go to an angry, a torn up and emotional faculty, staff, and student body, and she did the best she could to keep them unified. But if you ask her right now, if she was here, she would tell you she's for unification, she was for the partnership. Chancellor Figueroa sat with a bunch of us yesterday. There was a number of people here that got to attend that. He said, let the record be straight, I am for unification. I've never been for separation. It was an option that we considered as a last resort. And so I don't want anybody to leave here thinking that Dr. Garcia or anybody with the UT system thinks separation is a preferable option. It's going to wreak misery on our students, on our community, on our faculty, on our staff. And so I don't want anybody to think that they're behind this, because they're not. And they told us in person yesterday that separation was never their choice and still isn't.
Well, they should have come with a proposal that it was not a joke. You know, and the proposal, one of those proposals was a joke, that we wanted for us to give them $198 million worth of assets. They wouldn't take our debt. You know, they wouldn't pay us the money they owe us on rental. That was a joke of a proposal. They should have come with that from the very beginning. And they didn't, David. But
Renee, so why do they come with it now? Why does it matter?
Well, it's too late.
So you're going to say, oh, you know what? You didn't do it in the beginning, so we're not going to consider it now?
Quiet in the gallery,
Why
please.
is it too late?
UT's never come with it.
But
Well,
why is it too late?
if they send us a counter proposal, we'll look at it, but I mean, we're not going to counter our own proposal. We're not going to counter.
Excuse me, this
Please,
is a
Dr.
board.
Benavides, please. No speaking, please. No, sir, no, Dr. Benavides, please. We'll ask you to be removed.
Let me.
Can we
I-
take a vote?
No, not yet. I have, there's still,
you've
I have
spoken,
one
sir.
more,
It's-
one more comment to make, and this is.
No, sir, it's my turn to
I
speak,
am
sir.
going to-
Dr.
I
Robles,
have-
it's my turn to speak, sir.
Okay, go ahead.
This is not a separation. We voted on an option with a new relationship, and it's just adjusting the partnership we have. We're going to have contracts for services. The buildings will be available to all students. That's what the relationship is going to be. We're going to have a new partnership. It's not as interwoven as the old one, but moving forward, we're having a new partnership that'll be more beneficial to Texas Southmost College, that'll allow us to lower tuition and fees for the Texas Southmost College students. And as you well know, the University of Texas system voted to raise tuition and fees for their medical schools already. And it just makes us wonder what's going to happen to the tuition and fees to all their other institutions. We're moving in a direction that'll make it possible for Texas Southmost College to give more affordable tuition and fees for its students.
Every junior college district in the state's going to raise tuition, Mr. Chairman.
I'm sure they won't get to the
And
level that we're at now.
We're going to have a $5 million shortfall. This junior college is going to have a $5 million shortfall that you haven't accounted for in your little budget.
Well, actually, that makes us a balanced budget. We leave tuition and fees the way it is,
Can we
Mr.
have some
Oliveira.
order in this meeting? I'm really disappointed
Yes, ma'am.
the way
I'm
this is
sorry.
being handled. Either recognize the person that's going to speak. We cannot be speaking all at the same time.
Yes,
This is
ma'am.
ludicrous.
I'm still speaking. We have the highest tuition and fees in the state, and we need to do something about it. And yes, there's going to be problems with this state budget coming, but they're going to affect everybody. So when it's in your best interest, you bring out the fact that there's cuts in the state budget. And then when it's not in your best interest, you talk about this magical money that's going to appear, that they can come up with $20 million a year for TSC. Let's be realistic. Which is it? Is there a cut in the state budget, or is there this magical bag of gold somewhere where they can find this money to do the things that you're saying that can be done. You had 2 years to get that accomplished, and obviously it wasn't realistic. Right now, you're just trying to block the progress of this transition team and block the future of Texas Southmost College and the University of Texas at Brownsville. The University of Texas system is working with us in this direction. They're working with the transition team. They want to clarify the new vision and mission for both institutions and move forward so this community can go to the next step and the future. And we need to bring ourselves together and get behind it, because that is the reality. The direction that we're taking is we're going to make our community like all the other communities of our size or larger. We're going to have 2 options, just like they do. We're going to have a junior college option and a university option, and we need to move forward with that.
Mr. Chairman, all I want is to give an opportunity for the University of Texas to give the biggest gift to this community that's ever been given, one of $100 million forgiveness on the
Have them
bond
send us a
debt.
counter proposal, and we'll look at it. We receive a counter proposal from them, we'll be happy to look at it.
Why are you so
Thank
proud?
you.
Are you so proud that you would deny our community?
No, sir,
ourselves
I
as a
just explained
chance?
to you, we'll be,
So
we'll,
what's the harm in a proposal?
we'll look, yes, if they send us a
They
counter
can say
proposal,
no.
we'll be happy to
Mr.
review it.
Chair, Please,
I'm sorry.
have some order in this.
Yes, ma'am.
We cannot have this.
All right, that's, who's,
They say
Dr.
no.
Robles is, Dr. Robles?
I just have one thing to say to the public, and this is to point out something that is, again, wrong about this board and the board conduct, and that is that since this past fall, there has been a group of trustees that have been voting together in a block since then for every issue, and their only mission has been to destroy the Texas Southmost College. Starting with the letter that was never sent by Mr. Rendon, and again, when we tried to bring him down as a chairman, the 4 same, including himself, voted himself back into this. Then they hired an attorney, and this is also in a webcast. They hired an attorney, all right, where we were not given the opportunity to review his credentials. The 3 of us, Dr. Lozano, Dr. Oliveira, and myself, were not given the opportunity to review his credentials to see if he was qualified. Nevertheless, it did not matter, and again, this is a matter of a public record. They voted, the 4 voted the same way, without giving us the decency to review a resume. Next came the hiring of Dr. Ferguson, okay? We were not made part of that team to look and to discuss and to evaluate him in his credentials. Again, we were outvoted the same way. And then came the February 17th meeting, in which hundreds of people showed up, and an overwhelming number of community members showed up, and pleading for unification, and yet the same people, the same 4 trustees voted the exact same way. So I would be surprised, and I know you would too, if one of them had the courage to step forward and say, you know what, let's send the proposal and let's see what happens.
The courage that I have at this
Mr. Torres.
point is that, the courage that I have at this point is that in 2008, the President administration commissioned one administrator to write a plan to get rid of TSC and Texas Southmost College and its board. Very damaging piece of document. I cannot make it public because to protect the person who wrote it. But the ultimate goal since 2008 has been to get rid of Texas Southmost College and its board. And that's all I have to say at this point.
Yeah, let's take a vote, sir. Yeah, we can get.
Any closing statements on this issue? Dr. Robles, you had an opportunity to meet Dr. Ferguson before the vote. And you, no, sir, I'm speaking, it's my turn. You had an opportunity to meet with him before the vote, so you knew the man, and you saw his credentials, you saw his resume. Just because the vote didn't go your way, you didn't want to form a transition team, well, that's something that happens.
Here's
We're
how
moving,
I-
sir, no, sir.
Okay, let me-
I've got the floor.
let
No,
me-
sir, no, sir. I've got the floor. And then you talk about community members showed up. There was 40 community members that came to speak. That's 40 community members. It took us 4 years and 2 elections to change the direction of this board because the community at large was tired of having a board that did not question authority, that did not ask questions, that did not hold people accountable. So it took 4 years and 2 elections to be able to do that. And now that you're not getting what you like, you're using tactics that are unreasonable. I mean, you should be the one to unite this board. You should accept the fact that the board has chosen a direction to take, and as a member of part of this board, you should help unify this community by accepting it. There were 2 options that were offered by the UT system. They said that they could be fine either way. The one that's not fine with it is you. The community is behind this. The reason that our people, the reason that our people weren't there is because they knew we were taking care of their interests. Silence. Just because they did vote. We had elections. It took 4 years and 2 elections, and we won by big margins, not little margins. Silence. Silence. I have a first and I have a second. I have a first and a second, so all in favor of the motion?
Sir,
all in favor of the motion? We have a vote and a second. Consultation, with, all in favor of the motion by Mr. Oliveira to send a counter proposal.
Mr. Rendon,
no, sir,
you addressed me.
No, sir.
You addressed me a moment ago, and
No,
I
sir.
need to respond to your.
No, sir. You have
Kim
spoken.
Sanchez,
you have spoken,
I have
sir.
to say it.
You
Kim
have spoken,
Sanchez,
sir. Sir, you have out of order.
I
You have
called you
spoken.
the day
You have
that Dr.
You are out
Ferguson
of order.
arrived. And I said,
sir, you have out of order.
what is Dr.
Sir,
Ferguson?
you are
I
out of
heard
order.
that Dr. Ferguson is
We have a
here.
vote.
And he said,
Dr. Robles, you are out of order, sir. We have order here.
Rendon
Robert's
was supposed
rules.
to call you, and he didn't call you.
Robert's rules, you are out of order, sir. We have a vote.
You addressed me, may I address it back?
You're out of order. You addressed us the whole time and mudslinging, and we're taking a vote right now. We have a motion by Mr. Oliveira and a second by yourself. So all in favor of sending the counter proposal, say aye.
Aye.
David and Dr. Robles and Mr. Oliveira are in favor. All against?
Aye.
Aye. So
And for the record.
4 against.
For the record, had you had this meeting at an appropriate time, like we normally have our meetings after 5, Dr. Lozano would have been here, and his indication to me is that he would have voted to send this counter proposal, because what does it hurt to see if you can get a $100 million gift?
Next item, sir.
Next item.
Next item. Item number 2 is a consultation with District Council regarding the action on a resolution calling for the election by voters of the Texas Southmost College District on a proposition to merge Texas Southmost College with the University of Texas Brownsville and dissolving the Texas Southmost College District.
And at this time, I'll move that we pass a resolution calling for an election of the voters on the issue of whether to merge Texas Southmost College with the University of Texas at Brownsville and dissolve the Texas Southmost College District and get rid of our taxing obligation.
I have first by Mr. Oliveira.
Second.
A second by Dr. Robles. Any discussion?
Yes, I can't see the harm in letting the people decide this issue. This is too important an issue not to go to the people. If this is truly a democratic board, well, why we wouldn't let the citizens of our community decide whether or not this is the right thing to do is just beyond me. And I don't know why any board member would be afraid to let the citizens of this community decide this very important issue.
It was,
No, sir.
it was
Mr. Torres? No, sir.
it was
I
the
recognize
people-
Mr. Torres.
In 1991, when the original partnership agreement was signed, it was discussed behind closed doors. There was no public input, no cameras, no microphones, no newspaper updates. And when the doors opened, voila, we had a partnership agreement. In 2011, this board met in open session before an audience. We had speakers, we had cameras, we had newspaper updates. Everything was conducted out in the open. The vote was taken, and we moved forward. A referendum is after the fact, as far as I'm concerned.
Chairman, I have the floor.
Dr. Robles?
When this college was started back in the 1920s, more than 80 years ago, the people came together to vote themselves a tax to put this institution together because it's important. It's a way out of poverty, the way into improving your social economic well-being. Over the years, this college has grown and it has been enhanced by the University of Texas in partnering with it. And it was the people who voted themselves a bond in order to create more buildings and allow our students to have better places to learn in. And it ought to be in the hands of the people to decide whether we want to separate or unify. You have the power.
Ms. Garza?
They did have the power. They voted new people in, and I think that speaks volumes. I'm ready to take a vote.
Silence, silence.
There's two important issues.
Silence.
And while we're talking about
Sir,
that,
it's not your turn to speak.
does anybody else want to say anything? Thank you, Mr. Mendez.
Mr. Oliveira.
You know, you keep saying that this is what the people want. I don't recall any of you guys running on an issue that you were going to separate University of Texas and TSC. The issue you ran on, and my hat's off to you. I mean, I've been in, worked in politics my whole life, and you ran on a good issue, a real issue of lowering tuition for junior college students, and that's the issue you ran on. And so, when you say here, this is what the people want, you told me you were not against separation, you were for the partnership, and clearly you weren't. So, and you didn't put that out there to the people now. And I guarantee you, if you ran today and you ran on the issue, I'm going to separate these two institutions, and that seamless transition that junior college students have, you would not get elected.
Let me correct
Mr.
you.
Torres?
Let me correct you. I went back and did a little research when I first ran for this position, and I found a quote, and Gary Long wrote this piece in 2008, and I found in there that I had said, and I was quoted, that I wanted to revisit the partnership agreement. And I also was quoted in saying, and I have the copy of that article, that said that we need to look at some form of separation. And I have that newspaper article where I said that. And my major theme of that was revisiting the partnership agreement. So, all due respect to you, Mr. Oliveira, I did run on that platform.
And I was addressing only Mr. Mendez and Rendon, who just
Mr. Mendez?
I can't remember back to 2008.
My problem with a referendum vote is not the actual letting the people decide part of it. My problem is what it would actually do to the democratic process. I feel that allowing a referendum vote to take place after a board has voted on something, I think runs counter to the democratic process. I feel that at any, if it would set bad precedent to have something like this be done, because if that were the case, then any time there's a vote on anything, whether it's a municipality, a school board, any other type of elected boards, and the people who are in the voting minority go and lobby legislators or the public or whatever to go and try and overturn it. I feel that it sets a bad precedent because it kind of questions the whole democratic process in general, and it makes it seem as though the election doesn't count, the vote by the elected board doesn't count, and it would set a really, really terrible precedent, and no votes after that would ever count again in the state of Texas. So,
Quiet, please.
the board's elected to make decisions. I looked at everything. I know more than anybody in
Quiet,
this room
please.
about it, but that's my problem with the referendum vote after the fact. Had it been done prior to it, I might have had a different opinion. But an after the fact referendum vote is bad precedent. I can't agree to it.
Ms. Garza? Ms. Garza?
I'm ready to take a vote.
Well, no, you've already had your turn. It's my turn. Silence, please. I just want to clarify something Mr. Oliveira was saying. We didn't vote for separation. The UT system voted to terminate the existing partnership. And then
After
from
you
there,
failed to
we
send
had to
a
react.
counterproposal,
Sir,
Mr. Chairman.
sir, it's my turn.
I'm sorry.
the UT system voted to terminate, and then we had to react, and we had two options given to us by them of what they thought was acceptable. And we chose the option that would put us in a new partnership, not a separation. It's a partnership. We're going to share a lot of things in this partnership. We're going to share all the facilities. We're going to share certain staff. So going forward, we have a partnership, not a separation. And we need to be realistic on what's really going on. And the referendum doesn't make any sense because the community voted for its elected officials to make the decisions. And that's the way the republic works. And that's the way the process works. If people are upset, there's another election coming next a year from this May. There's another election coming a year from this May, and please get involved in the process. But we've spoken. Sir, you've already spoken, sir. We have someone calling the vote.
Have the floor?
We have. Yes, Dr. Robles.
Look, I feel that this decision should not be dismissed so easily, because the issue here for the poorest county one of the poorest counties in the entire United States is worth millions upon millions upon millions of dollars. Let the people vote on it. Let them decide.
The poorest
Mr.
people in
Torres.
this country have been paying, and the only institution in the UT system, the only institution in the UT system, Texas Southmost College, the only one that has been paying taxes, local taxes. No other college in the UT system collects local taxes. No other but this institution for the last 20 years has paid local taxes. I repeat, no other college in the system does so. Take a vote.
And no other college in the system has gotten their buildings maintained, their utilities paid by the University of Texas, and has brought hundreds of millions in research grants to this community.
Mr. Oliveira,
I mean, but you know, guys, it's been beneficial for both sides. Okay.
Well, one thing that I can throw out
Mr.
there
Torres.
Mr. Torres.
to rebut. Okay, go ahead. I'm sorry. I can rebut that.
we do pay maintenance out of the TSC tax budget, and we just need to.
You can pay it all now.
We need to obtain closure on this issue and start bringing the community back together is what we need to do, and align everybody in the actions and in the vision that is voted upon. So right now we have a motion and a second to put the referendum issue to the public. So I call the vote now. Anybody in favor of the referendum, please say aye.
Aye.
Mr. Oliveira and Dr. Robles. All again, anybody against? Aye. Motion fails. Thank you.
Record also, Dr. Lozano was in favor of
Thank you.
allowing the people to vote.
I will vote for adjourn. A second. Second. All in favor? Aye. We stand adjourned.